Good drive by the two Toro Rosso drivers, both of them. Max was always going to be the better of the two, I think, in those difficult situations, because if he does make a mistake, he's always on top of it. He manipulates the car in a Lewis-like way, as I've said so many times. He does keep the car more or less in a straight line all the time, like Lewis. And he's got, as a result, he's not driving on reflexes and reactions, which leaves about 20% of his brain capacity for thinking about situations and overtaking or getting out of the way or whatever he's going to be doing. That's why I've never really been a fan of sports psychologists in Formula One, because it's not about what the driver's got through going through his brain. It's about how much space you have left to think about it. And the more you're manipulating the car to do what you want it to do, and you're not driving on reactions, the more brain capacity you've got to think about the rest of it. Whereas Carlos Sainz, to do a good Carlos Sainz lap, he's got to be occupying 99% of his brain, because everything is on reflexes, everything is reactionary. Brilliant car control, beautiful to watch, but he is going to make mistakes because he can't keep that up for 50 laps. And that's what happened on Friday. I think he went out, it was wet, he was Carlos Sainz, he was always going to be quick. Sorry, Saturday morning. And Sunday morning, what am I saying? So many mornings we've had, early mornings, Sunday morning, and that's what happened. You know, he just went out, I'm Carlos Sainz, I'm quick in the wet, and he did his reflexy thing, and it ended in tears. But Max didn't try to run before he could walk, did everything right, and looked wonderful in the car, and raced well. He even got Jenson Button was saying Carlos Sainz was a bit crazy, but I think Kimi was a bit annoyed with Max, but then he would be, wouldn't he? Max said afterwards he loved the day, he loved the race, he didn't make any mistakes. Of course, I had to point out that he did run very wide that time, but then he came back, coming out of that slow corner, he came back and said, yeah, but I didn't lose any time, and he didn't. He's absolutely right. So he didn't really make any mistakes. Had a good chat to him and Joss with Jan Lammers in the Toro Rosso garage after the race, and it's just a glow about that team. Ben Waterhouse was chief engineer, I think, for the weekend. Had a long chat to him as well, and it would, for me, Carlos Sainz just needs to come back, soften his inputs, and then he will start to develop and grow as well. But at the moment he's peaking out, and then the only way he can survive is just to come back from those peaks, which is why Max Verstappen is now basically over a race distance quicker and getting more out of the tyres, and that's just a function of how well Max naturally drives and how well he thinks through his racing.